What is up, guys? What's up? Can y'all hear me okay? I've been messing with the mic a little bit, so I don't know if it works. Awesome. Yes, guys, it is a German plane behind me. I always have vowed to myself that I would never buy a German plane. I have not broken that promise. This plane was provided to me through the graciousness of Bitco Hobby. They provided me this plane for a build review and flight demo, which I will be doing. I've actually am in the process of editing the build video now, and we'll be putting that up here probably tonight or maybe tomorrow. And hopefully I'll be able to get it out and maiden it this weekend, because and I would have maidened it yesterday, but I've had quite a few issues and obstacles that I had to overcome to get it ready. So you know, it's been a challenge getting that thing together, but I think it's ready to fly now. I've got everything set up, everything's working good, and we're gonna take it up hopefully this weekend. It looks like the weather's gonna be cooperative this weekend. We're supposed to have nice sunny days Friday, Saturday, and Sunday. So hopefully we'll be able to get it up Saturday and see how she flies. Everything that I've seen so far would suggest that it flies awesome. And I'm actually kind of fond of the way it looks too. It's not a bad looking airplane at all. So, you know, I know Bobby K may not be in here yet, but if he does get in here, thank you, sir, and thank you to Big Go Hobby for providing the plane for review. It's actually been quite a bit of fun because I got to do a lot of stuff on this that I normally would not do on a brand new airplane. But you know, considering the you know, the price that I paid for it, I didn't mind putting a little extra work into it to get it flying. So I want to go ahead and so what I want to talk about first, before we get into the BitGo plane and before we get into, you know, kind of the elephant in the room that is the FAA, I want to talk a little bit about the Southeast Model Show that was this weekend in Perry, Georgia. I got to meet with Jeff there, so that was nice. You know, getting to put a face to a name, and there was a lot of great models there, a lot of great stuff, and I didn't end up buying anything, so that was a little weird. I kind of went there with the intention of trying to find a P2 Prometheus, and God bless America, there was one at the show on Friday, and it had like 2 flights on it. I think the guy told me it had 2 flights on it, and they sold it Friday afternoon towards the end of the show on Friday for $225. And I was there first thing Saturday morning, and it was already gone, and I was like, God. So I missed out, man. If I had gotten there, you know, if I had been able to make it on Friday, and we were there Friday night, but we didn't get in till probably about 9 o'clock on Friday night. So I missed out, man. I would have snatched that thing up for $225. So it is what it is. You know, I'm sure I'll be able to find one at some point. But what I did find, because I'm a little more fond of the Waco than the Pitts, you know, and I do want to get a biplane at some point. And what I found, and man. Shut up, Jeff. I don't want to hear that he would have taken less. And yeah, I talked to the guy that sold it. He was a super cool dude. And it's a shame that I wasn't able to find it. So I'm gonna pull up a website here because I want y'all to see what I did find and what I will be getting at some point, because it is nice and I love it, and I will be getting this guy. I'm just a little afraid of it because it's a balsa plane, but you know, that's all right. Let's see here. Let me get rid of my little thing. Boop. Okay. So I'm going to show you this plane I found. This is the Extreme Flight RC Legacy Aviation. They call it the Muscle Bipe. It is a Waco variation. And it's a balsa-built plane. There are no control rods between the ailerons. It's actually got 4 separate aileron servos, you know, along with an elevator and rudder servo. Balsa-built, covered. It's beautiful. It's a beautiful plane. You know, they're a little more pricey than the foamies, but I fell in love with this plane when I saw it. It's not too big, it's not too small. I think the wingspan is about 54 inches, so what, it's right around that 1400 millimeter. You know, seeing some flight videos of this plane, it looks like it flies absolutely amazing. And, you know, you can fly it as a, you know, either scale. And obviously, being from Extreme Flight, it's capable of doing some pretty fabulous acrobatics as well. And it's an amazing looking airplane. I love this thing, and I must have one. It's a little more expensive, obviously, than a foam plane. It's about $360, I think. They were selling it for $350 at the show, and I was like, you know, and they wouldn't budge on the price. So for $10 savings, I wasn't interested in getting one right away and putting myself $350 in the hole. But I am going to get one. It's a beautiful, beautiful plane. And they also have it in a black and white. So let's click off of that. And let me show you the other color as well, because they're both fantastic. You know, I'm still kind of on the fence about which one I'd rather have. If I'd rather have the black and white, you know, with kind of the red accents on it that you can see here, or if I'd rather have the you know, the red and white with the gold accents. The black and white looks super sharp. The red and white looks super sharp, you know, so it's a hard decision to make, but I like both of them. They're both beautiful planes. And I gotta get one, man. I gotta have it. So that's what I found at the show. I mean, there was a lot to see, guys. There was obviously a lot of airplanes there. 3 big buildings just full of everything RC. And yeah, red would be a little easier to see. And what you can't see on the pictures on the website is you can't see what the underside looks like. I want to say they're, you know, like a white and red and a white and black checkerboard pattern on the bottom of the wings. So maintaining orientation shouldn't be too big of a problem. And like I said, I really like the idea of it having, you know, 4 independent servos on the on each wing of the aileron. So each aileron has its own servo. Now I won't be getting, you know, too fancy with it, you know, where I have like independent adjustment of each aileron, because I think that'd be kind of crazy. You know, I could put like some drag brakes or something on it, you know, but just from an aesthetic appearance. I mean, they're both beautiful airplanes, very striking, beautifully covered, very well done. The guys at Extreme Flight really do a nice job. And I think that they're probably more known for like their big 3D, like their extras and yaks. But the Legacy Aviation, that little muscle bite, that little Waco looks great. So that's what I'm looking at. As far as getting a Waco, I've been looking for a bigger Waco, and the Dynam Waco looks good, but this thing is at another level, and I want to kind of go. I want to try a balsa built plane. So, I mean, this is it. $360 worth of stick and cover, and I'm sure if I crash it, I'll be a sad panda. I'll have to learn how to repair balsa planes. Okay, so next up, let's talk about the big elephant in the room, y'all. If you guys haven't put in Ryan mentioned this on Saturday night. I'm not sure if Wesley mentioned it yesterday, but he probably should have if he didn't. Shame on him if he didn't. Everybody needs to put in their comments to the FAA. I am going to, and I know that you guys probably, don't give a crap really about what I said. But I'm going to read my comment that I made to the FAA because I want everybody to, to understand what my position was. And it's very similar to Ryan's comment, to Rich's comment. This was actually, something that I had mentioned a few weeks back, maybe the first week after the FAA, announced that they were going to be opening up for comments. I had mentioned, that there's a big difference between the folks that they're going after and us. I have to believe in my heart of hearts that the FAA is not this terrible organization, and that model aviation wasn't what they were targeting. But because they've lumped everything into one thing, we're grouped into that. So I'm gonna read my comment to you guys, and if you tune out, that's cool. But hopefully you'll read or at least listen along. It shouldn't take too long, and I'm just gonna get through it here. All right. So my comment is, to whom it may concern, from a very young age I've been fascinated with flight. I had dreams of becoming a fighter pilot and started building model aircraft at age 6 with my dad. While that dream of becoming a fighter pilot never became a reality, my love for aviation has never wavered. My hobby started with plastic models, moved on to kites, free flight models, rubber band powered models, and eventually on to control line aircraft. Today, 38 years later, I'm still just as fascinated as I was when I was 6, and that hobby has progressed into electric powered remote control aircraft. I have many remote control aircraft, ranging from ultra-micro models, high-wing trainers, helicopters, sport aircraft, World War II era warbirds, electric ducted fan-powered sport jets, and scale military jets. I'm fortunate enough to be an AMA flight instructor in an outstanding flying club with an excellent flying field. This field is a short 15-minute drive from my house. I also maintain the required FAA small UAS certificate of registration. While I may have these luxuries, it's important to understand that there are far more people that enjoy the hobby who do not have access to model flying fields and AMA facilities. For these modelers, they resort to flying at local parks, ball fields, schools, churches, wherever there are open fields and a little bit of runway. This practice has been going on for decades across this great country. It is with this in mind that I urge the FAA to reconsider their one-year limit on the introduction of new FRIA sites. And for those that don't know what FRIA is, that is the federally recognized identification areas. Should the remote ID proposal go into effect, there must be a way for new FRIA sites to be approved so that others who share my love for aviation and want to experience model flight can do so without the added weight and expense of installing remote ID equipment into their aircraft. I certainly understand and respect the intent to keep the skies safe and airways decongested. However, I can't imagine that there are very many hobby-grade RC aircraft that are limiting your ability to do that today without any regulation at all. As mentioned, we've been taking to the skies for decades without any government regulations. In some ways, the RC aviation hobby is very much self-regulated in the same vein as those who fly hang gliders, paramotors, and other forms of non-licensed recreational piloting. This is why I also ask that the FAA consider breaking apart and creating a clear distinction between hobby-grade RC aircraft and commercial-grade UASs. This cannot be done simply by weight alone. Hobby-grade aircraft are typically flown via line of sight and less than 400 feet above ground level. In most cases, this is without any autonomous flight systems. These are hand-flown models in which the pilots are acutely aware of their surroundings and able to avoid in-air collision simply by landing their aircraft when full-scale air traffic comes into the picture. Even flying in first-person view, using a camera with goggles along with a spotter, the pilot can be made aware and immediately take action to avoid full-scale aircraft. To be clear, I support remote ID for commercial-grade autonomous unmanned aerial systems designed with the purpose of package delivery, surveillance, commercial film, law enforcement, etc., where the aircraft in question has the handling capacity and the organization operating the aircraft has the funding to support and maintain a remote ID system. For us hobbyists, I don't see an immediate need for deconfliction, and there is little in the way of displayed evidence that would suggest we need further regulation in the future. If the intent of the proposed regulations is to keep us hobbyists from sharing airspace with commercial UAS, perhaps the answer lies not within remote ID systems, but with altitude separation and predefined flight corridors for commercial autonomous systems. Let the hobbyists know where these commercial UASs are approved to fly, and we will simply stay out of their space. It's a large and open sky. There's plenty of room up there for commercial, civilian, and military aviators to continue to fly their full-scale aircraft safely as they have done for decades, for us hobbyists to fly our remote control models safely as we have done for decades without any remote ID, and for the newcomer to the space, the commercial drone, to do so with minimal regulation against hobby-grade aircraft. Thank you for your time. That is my message to the FAA, and I hope that you guys have made your comments to the FAA as well, because it is vitally important that we get it done. I mentioned in a Facebook post that anybody who does not say something, anyone who is complacent, anyone who does not share their comment is just as much to point the finger at and point blame to as the FAA themselves. If you are not willing to speak up, if you are not willing to share your thoughts, if you're not willing to at least hit the comment button, go in there and write one sentence that says, I am in full opposition of regulations of my hobby, then shame on you. Shame on anybody, who enjoys this hobby every day and is not willing to say something. And I apologize. I haven't been following the chat. I'll back up here in a little bit and, I'll get caught up. But hopefully you guys, enjoy the comment that I made to the FAA, and that you guys have also made comments to the FAA as well. Please do. If you have to leave the stream for a moment to go make your comment, and please, somebody, I don't have the link to make a comment in the description of the video, so I apologize for that. If any of the moderators, if you guys can post a link to where to go to make those comments, Guys, it's not going to make me upset at all if you leave the stream right now, go make your comment, and be part of the solution instead of part of the problem. So that's all I'll say about that. Thank you, Josh. All right, so I'm going to back up a little bit. Okay, so that's where I started talking about the balsa plane. So I kind of want to touch on that again too, because I'm kind of excited. I mean, we're talking. I'm probably going to get this thing like Friday. that extreme flight muscle bite. That thing. I mean, it caught my eye, and I got the bug big time. I mean, it was so beautiful and so smooth, and it was like, wow. I mean, it's just so well done. You know, I've seen balsa planes before. I mean, there were plenty of balsa planes at the Perry Southeast Model Show. That I mean, they're all nice, but there's something about the way that the guys at Extreme Flight, you know, whoever's manufacturing those models for them, if they're building them here in Georgia, that's awesome. You know, but there's something about that manufacturing process. Whoever they've got covering those models, I mean, they know what they're doing. It is very well done, very smooth, very tight. You know, the way they've got the monocoat or whatever it is that they're using, you know, pulled across the wings. You know, the way that the internal structure is made is all very well done. It's all laser cut parts, and they're made in such a way, and the covering is done in such a way that you can't see the ribs inside of the wings. I mean, they are great planes. It impressed the crap out of me. Like this, if I was gonna have a balsa plane, man, that's a beautiful model. And maybe I should probably get a cheaper one first, so if I crash it, I don't like cry. But I mean, I got the bug, man, and I feel confident enough of my flying abilities, you know, that I think that I can get one and probably not crash it. We'll certainly see. Thanks a lot, Dennis. So Dennis says earlier, like, we never give a crap what you say. And guys, you know, if you don't give a crap about what I say, that's cool. But give a crap about what you say. You know, I just wanted to share my comment with you guys and let you hear what I have to say about it. And you know, I'd love to hear what everybody has to say to the FAA, and I hope that the FAA listens and that they don't just crush us and don't give a crap. So you know, it is what it is. So here's what, you know, I mean, one of my big reasons that I want everybody to comment is because I don't want anybody, I don't want to have anybody have any unjustified complaints later. If we comment and we tried, we have the right to bitch, no matter what regulation they come out with. If they come out with regulation and you didn't say anything, shut the fuck up. That's all I got to say about that. If you didn't say anything, shut the hell up and take it like a man, because that's what you asked for. You asked to take it in the pants. If you don't say anything, that's what you want. You want to bend over and just take it. I'm not that kind of person. I'm going to fight till the bitter end. And I hope that all of you guys are with me. The Craft King #1. Hey, good to see you, man. We're going to add you as a moderator. Sorry, guys. I'm going through the comments right now to make sure. Nice, Josh. JH1982A, welcome to the show. I'm just going through right now and finding everybody with gray names and making them moderators. All right. So, anyway, thank you guys for commenting. I want everybody to comment. Just go and do it. Yeah, Dennis, that's a fact. I bitch all the time anyway, and now that now that we're in the comment club, man, we can really let them have it. And I agree. I think that no matter what they do, I mean, are they really going to be able to stop us? I don't know, man. I don't know. I don't think that they would ever see like a little balsa plane, a little foam plane. Hell, some of the big foam planes, I don't think would ever show up on their stupid radars, because even if we are flying, above 400 feet, we're certainly flying below 1,000, most of us. So, I mean, what the hell, man? It's ridiculous. Amazon can suck it. I'm gonna, if I ever see an Amazon freaking drone, I'm gonna try to like throw a net at it. I'm gonna get one of my planes that I don't care about. I'll try to find something, man. I will launch a jet and chase that bitch down and try to knock it out of the sky. Hell, these little freaking, like my F-15, F-16, I don't know how fast them Amazon drones are going to fly, but if I see them, I'm going to take my little E-flight birds and I'm going to launch it. Just whoosh. I'm going to try to chase it. Yeah, 400 feet high. I mean, 400 feet is, just to be honest, 400 feet is a good altitude. 400 feet away is kind of a joke, to say that they're going to put like a 400-foot diameter or 400-foot radius bubble around us, that's 400 feet in any direction and 400 feet up. That's a bunch of crap. That's only like a couple. I mean, not even full. That's not going to work. That's not going to work for most people. Yeah, that's garbage. And and that's when they say the package will never make it. Yeah, right, Josh. I don't personally, and I know that a lot of you guys do, and you're certainly entitled to that. I want everybody to share what their opinion of all of these proposed regulations are, because some of them work for some of us, and some of them don't work at all. I don't think there's a problem with 400 feet. Now I don't know about 1,000. Like I know that there are. So I know when I was flying, actual airplanes, like the minimum altitude that I would want to fly at was about 1,500 feet, and I believe that that's where, that's like the floor. Like you don't want to fly any lower than 1,500 feet. But there has to be, if we're gonna give, and the reason I say this is because I am willing to make concessions for these stupid drones, that fly from Amazon. As long as they don't affect me, I don't care what's in the sky. So I'm willing to make some concessions for them. If they want to fly those things at, say, 1,000 feet, have at it, man. Take it. And give us from the ground to 600, or I at least want to have some altitude separation there, where no one can bitch, because we've all got airspace that we can use. The damn thing is plenty big enough. The sky is plenty big enough. Airliners are never going to hit us. This is totally about low altitude aircraft. And our models are not in any danger of hitting anything. And I don't know about you guys, but I can tell you, anytime that that I am flying, because we have I would call it a municipal airport, but they don't seem to believe that. It's more of like a business airport that's probably about 7 to 10 miles from our field, and we'll get some air traffic pretty close to the field when I'm flying. Anytime we see air traffic, we always see it. You can hear it. You can see it. You can, just look up. You can see the traffic coming in. We always get ourselves right above the tree line or land the plane because we see them. We're not stupid, I'm not going to go and chase a damn airplane with mine. And anybody who is going to do that kind of thing, there's no law in the world that's going to stop them from doing it. That's so stupid. Deuces, I think you can. I think you can snipe an Amazon drone. What are they going to do? I mean, they can probably sue you, but it's not like you're shooting a person. If you're out in the country and you see one of these things and you knock it out of the sky, hey man, the guy was flying over my property. Now, the bad thing about those Amazon drones, right, and the reason that I would probably caution some folks to really not do that is, let's say we do shoot one out of the sky. I'm pretty sure that Amazon knows exactly where that thing is all the time. So if you do shoot it out of the sky, just shoot it and then go back in your house or whatever, or go back to wherever you came from and just leave the thing sitting in a big hunk of metal. Like, don't shoot it and then try to put it in your basement or something to prove a point. Yeah, but is it really an aircraft if they're lumping it in with RC models? What is up, Wes? All right. So, I don't want to talk about remote ID anymore, but it's fun to speculate what would happen if we shot down an Amazon drone. All right. So, before I start talking about this beast behind me, I do want to talk about the little beast beside me. So this wasn't technically my first German plane. My first German plane was this little guy right here. So listen, guys. Last week we had an awesome show, and somewhere along the show, someone had mentioned like, "Hey, Horizon has these little Fokker D7 things on sale for $60." Well, hey, what I'll tell you is they're no longer on sale for $60. $60 is now the regular price. So I had asked Wes to come on, but he didn't respond soon enough, and that's okay. So Wes and I last week, we were like, "Hey man, if you get we'll have some RC battles at Joe Nall." So I'm gonna hold you to that, Wes, and I'm gonna bring this because I got two of them right? So last week, you guys, were gracious enough to start pouring in the PayPal donations, and I was able to pick up 2 of these, sponsored by the folks that, the Air Marshal community. And that's awesome, guys. So thank you so much for doing that. We're gonna take these guys and we're gonna fly them. I've actually seen some videos of these flying. They're not very capable, but they're capable enough. Yeah, man. No, I don't. I don't blame you there, Wes. So what I'm gonna do is because these are your airplanes, guys. This one and the other one that I have over in the corner. These are y'all's airplanes. And we're gonna have a lot of fun with them. We're gonna make some great content with these little guys. And I want to go ahead and unbox it for you, like right here and right now. So let me go make sure that I may have everything that I need to do that already. But I haven't opened up either one of these boxes, so what's in here is check it out. What's in here is every bit of mystery to me as it is to you. What's up, Dustin? Dang. So the foam that this thing's in, like this is just standard styrofoam, but this little block, I mean, this thing is hard. It's foam, but man, that is some hard foam. This is what they need to be making airplanes out of. I have no idea what this is made out of, but that is some rigid crap. Sorry. I don't know if that blew somebody's eardrums out. All right, so we are going to pull this little Fokker out of here and check out what we are working with for the little Fokker challenge. All right, so this thing already has a couple of streamers hanging off the back. That's cool. Let's get this off of here. There's a little foam piece around there. I mean, this is a neat little airplane. It uses a 1S battery, very similar to like the small helicopters. And it actually includes a battery. Let's see. I think it includes an 80 milliamp hour battery. I actually have like a boatload of the 1S. Wow. This thing is a bit of a mess. But anyway, that's a pretty cool airplane. It's the size of like a UMX model. So yeah, it's a lot like a Stearman. Really tiny propeller. I was going to get some extra propellers as well, and I still may do that in case, during the the lots of crashing that I plan on doing with this thing, we end up busting some props. I want to be able to keep them airworthy for as long as we can, whether that means, crashing them, breaking them, taping them back up, crashing them some more. If we've got a bunch of props on hand, we can keep flying. So yeah, on here on the bottom, there's the little battery connector. It's the little 1S pack, and it comes with like an 80 millimeter. It comes with a little 80 milliamp hour battery that you can stuff in there. I may try to modify that foam there to see if I can fit a 150 milliamp hour battery in there and see if we can't get like double the flight time, because the weight is so insignificant between one battery and the next that I think it would still CG just fine with a 150 milliamp battery. So that may be one of the first mods that we do to the little Fokker. But what's funny on the Oh, I just popped it. So on the bottom of the wings, this is all like laminate, and there's a bunch of bubbles. I don't know if you guys can see. Yeah, can you guys see that? There's like bubbles on the laminate. But hey, man, it was $60, and it's completely ready to fly. You know, I was trying to see if they had like a, you know, like any American or British, you know, World War I style planes. This is the only one I've seen so far. Now, this is a, so yeah, don't buy the little Fokker in Canada. You know, come to the U.S. and get one. They're $60. I mean, that is super dirt cheap. Now, this guy does have a working rudder, working elevator, and working throttle. It does not have ailerons. It's only a 3-channel model. But from what I've seen, you know, the rudder does have quite a bit of authority on it and does get this thing moving pretty good. It's obviously not going to be able to, you know, to go, you know, extreme vertical or anything like that, but we can certainly turn it and try to, you know, I'm sure that whatever we do, we're going to be able to have a little fun with it. Now, it does come with a radio, and I'm going to get that out for you guys now so we can take a look. So here's the tiny battery that it comes with. It's an 80 milliamp hour 1S battery. Here it is. It's tiny. I'm kind of feeling it to see if it's already puffy. It's not puffy yet. Oh my God. And here is the little bitty transmitter that it comes with. It comes with a little fly zone transmitter. So that's something else that's pretty cool with this, guys. It's not a bind and fly. This is an RTF model for $60. So this is throttle. I mean, it's got rudder, but I would assume that since it's only 3-channel, that the rudder is controlled with the right stick. You know, I certainly don't expect this to be the greatest model in the world, but I do suspect that it's going to fly just fine. And, you know, it looks like we're going to be able to have quite a bit of fun with it. So I'm looking forward to it. Now, something else that's pretty cool is the radio takes 4 AA batteries. It does include the 4 AA batteries in the box. So literally everything that you need to fly is in the box for $60. You know, it comes with the airplane, it comes with the transmitter, it comes with the AA batteries, and it comes with a 1S flight pack. And the charger for the 1S flight pack is built into the transmitter, you know, just like some of the, you know, like the old like Air Hog remote control helicopters and stuff. Now, I've got a balance board that I can use to charge up like 12 of these batteries at once. So, and I'm sure I can do it at a much faster charge rate than what the little thing in the built-in transmitter can do. So I'm just going to take that little wire and stuff it back inside the transmitter here, because I don't suspect that I will be using that. Let me get that all stuffed in here. So it's got, yeah, like a little secret compartment for the charge cable right there. So this thing looks pretty cool. It looks like it's going to be a lot of fun. You know, single antenna radio, and we're going to get this thing going in, man. We're going to have some battle royales. So That's going to be a lot of fun. So if you guys are down at Joe Nall, you'll be able to witness it. If you're not at Joe Nall, we're certainly going to be recording it. And, you know, I care so much about this little airplane that this is going to be a rain or shine event. I'm not convinced that this thing will hold up in the rain. I mean, it weighs nothing. Hey, the good news is that if the FAA, you know, does regulate the piss out of us, this is way under a half a pound or whatever the restrictions are. So, you know, this may be the future of the hobby, guys. So, you know, stock up while you can for $60 a shot. You know, I say that now in jest and watch it become a reality. Yes, 250 grams. And I am sure that this falls under the 250 gram limit. You know, if I thought that this battery had... I'm sure that this thing is going to be a blast. You know, I'm almost wanting to get it. I mean, let's do it. I'm gonna put the batteries in the transmitter, and we're gonna fire this thing up and get it going. Cause why not? So Randy asked if the radio has trim, and the answer is yes, it does. It has trim buttons. Oh, wow. Yeah, so if the UMX Turbo Timber and the UMX Timber are only 121 grams, you know, I mean, as much as I would hate the idea of losing the, you know, the freedom to fly my big planes wherever I want, you know, I mean, those are still really fun airplanes, guys. So I'm not going to, hold on just a second. Like, I'm not going to go into like super doom and gloom mode if the FAA passes, you know, some stupid regulations that are going to, you know, prevent us from being as safe as we, or, you know, from being able to fly the way we want, whenever we want. Hopefully it won't come to that, but, you know, I'm not going to hold my breath when we're dealing with a government organization. All right. So I have no idea where this little battery is right now as far as its charge, but I'm going to see if we can't fire up this little airplane and see, you know, what kind of functionality we've got as far as the rudder and the elevator, and see if I can't get a feel for like how much thrust it has. All right. Let me make sure I've got, yep, I've got my throttle pulled all the way down. I'm going to go ahead and install the flight battery. Oh, man. It's doing something here. Yeah, and I guess you just kind of stuff the battery up there and hope it doesn't fly out, huh? Oh, look at that. So that's That's quite a bit of elevator on such a small little airplane. Yep, and the rudder does work with the right stick. Yeah, that thing's got a ton, and it's fully proportional, you know, so it's not like an all or nothing type of thing. So, you know, it's fully proportional elevator and rudder. And let's see, you know, yeah. That thing has a weak little motor. This is definitely not, you know, the motors that they're putting in like the UMX planes. Maybe that's the upgrade. Is that's the upgrade, is to put, you know, a brushless UMX motor in it and get this thing just tearing it up. So all the functionalities there, little tiny 80 milliamp hour flight battery, the micro Fokker D7. So like I said, this is my first German plane. I can't fly it in the house, Mike. And to be honest with you, it wasn't producing that much thrust. It didn't feel like it wanted to fly at all. So, yeah, that's what I'm thinking, Kevin. Like, we should throw some ailerons on it. Go ahead and cut the ailerons out. Get some of the UMX, you know, the linear UMX servos, and put those in here. You know, and cut out some little ailerons. You know, get those moving. And turn this thing into like a super aerobatic beast. But for now, I'm going to leave them alone. But I got to figure out what this foam is that they're using inside the box, man. I don't know. And like I said, I don't know if any of you guys have, you know, one of these. If you do, man, this foam is ridiculously tough. You know, this is like a little block that was in there that was holding the transmitter down. And I mean, this isn't EPO. It's not EPS either. This is, I mean, this is rugged stuff. If they made airplanes out of this, that'd be awesome. I mean, this is extremely rigid, just tough stuff. It may be. I mean, it is hard. Like you could. This is not like any other kind of foam that I have felt before. If this is what EPP is, why the hell aren't they making all models out of this? I mean, it's still super lightweight. I mean, this is still super lightweight stuff. And they could definitely make models out of this. Now it does dent, you know, but good Lord, like that is extremely rigid. That'd be great, you know, for airplanes. I mean, this stuff is like hard as a rock. It's not squishy. I know, Mike. Yeah, it doesn't take much to get me excited at all, guys. You know, I get excited over some stupid crap. So, I'm pretty excited over the little Fokker. This looks like it's going to be a fun little airplane. I'm not quite as adventurous as GB. I'm not going to try to fly it in the house. But I am going to go ahead and get it all situated back in the box. So it is ready to roll at Joe Nall when we have the the Fokker Showdown. And as far as I can tell, this is not, I don't know how old this model is. I don't think it's been around for a long, long time. The little Fokker D7. Oh, you know, I'm going to go ahead and pull the batteries out because that seems like the smart thing to do here. Yep. The full unboxing, control test is complete. And we're going to put it all back in the box and wait patiently for Joe Nall to arrive so we can host the little Fokker Showdown. And for 60 bucks, what's up, Jeff's Custom RC? For 60 bucks, now regular price, no longer on sale. I hope some other folks show up with some little Fokkers at Joe Nall so they can join in on the fun, because this thing looks like it's going to be a blast. And like I said, it comes with everything you need for 60 bucks. I mean, and when I say everything, I truly mean everything. The flight battery, the transmitter. Oh, Jeff, if you missed it, here is one last time before it goes back in the box till May. This is the little Fokker. I know, Kenny. We're full of German planes tonight. But remember, the vow that I made to myself was not that I would never fly a German plane. It was that I would never buy a German plane. And thanks to the generous donations from the people here that watch the RC Air Marshal YouTube channel, and all you folks that watch Air Marshal Mondays, last week you guys donated enough for me to be able to, dude, Dave, you didn't know? So thank you to everybody who contributed last week. We were able to get 2 of the Fokker D7 micro, World War I warbirds, and we're gonna have a little Fokker Showdown at Joe Nall. Anybody who gets one, they're 60 bucks. Come join us, and we're gonna have a lot of fun with these little guys. Little 3-channel airplane, comes with everything you need in the box, ready to fly. Transmitter, charger, battery, airplane, flight, yeah, everything. Everything is there. So all you got to do is open up the box, put everything I mean, there's nothing to put together. It's already fully assembled. You just stick your batteries in your transmitter, charge up your flight battery, and you're ready to rock. So I think we're going to have a great time with these little guys. And we will be seeing this again at Joe Nall. And of course, at Joe Nall, it will all be recorded. And we'll be putting the Little Fokker Challenge, the Little Fokker Showdown will be televised. What's going on, Dave's RC? Hey, man. So, I was going to say something nice about Dave's RC, but fuck that guy. Dude. Yeah. We're We're definitely gonna have a little Fokker Showdown. Josh, that'd be awesome. Now that was something else that I was looking at the Perry show. There was a guy there that had a bunch of 4S race quads because he had upgraded all of his quads to 6S. So now he's doing all 6S race quads and was selling off all of his 4S race quads. And he had like 20 of them. And he was selling them all. I mean, they were all custom built, you know. I think they all had, what do they call them? F4 flight controllers and, you know, everything that you need. The cameras were all there, and they were all right around $200 that he was wanting for them. And I almost got one, man, because I want to try one of these quads. You know, like a little 5-inch 4S race quad, because I've never flown one, man. So I don't know if it's going to be that much of a pylon race, love. I mean, it certainly could be. Yeah, Dave, man, that's what it's all about, dude, not the butt. You know, that's a pretty common term on in the Navy, just in general, and on submarines it's even more common. You know, nut to butt is where it's at, and you know, if you don't like it, that's fine. Oh yeah, that F-15 will burn on 4S, man. Those things are a ton of fun. So, Josh, the reason that the guy upgraded to 6S is he is doing a lot of chase videos now, and what he was saying was that he couldn't carry enough speed to chase like jets and stuff with the 4S quads with GoPro strapped to the top. So rather than just doing like the DVR on like a run cam or something like that, you know, he's got the little FPV camera, but he's not doing DVR on there. He's actually got a 4K GoPro Hero 7 strapped to the top of the 6S. I think he was running 7-inch 6S drones now that he's using to do chase footage, and has both of the cameras at the same kind of incidence. So, you know, what he sees through the FPV camera is the same thing that is being recorded on the GoPro, which is pretty cool. So, you know, I want to try out one of the quads, you know, just to see what they're all about. And at the field that I fly at, we've got both the fixed wing side and a quad side. So I want to try them out, man. And I think I may still build one. You know, I didn't pick one up from that guy because I don't have like any of the goggles. You know, and I've been watching a few videos to try to figure out, like, you know, a pair of starting goggles. You know, if I like FPV and I want to keep trying it out, you know, should I go ahead and spend the money and get like a pair of Fat Sharks now, or should I go with a wait, what are you winning from me? An IX-20? That's not happening. All right. I am ready for AR636 questions all the time. Oh, guys, I wanted to mention today, I found out some sad news in the world of RC. One of the legends of RC aviation, today was its last day. So the legendary The absolutely legendary AR636 receiver was officially discontinued by Horizon Hobby and Spectrum today. It is no longer available for purchase on the Horizon Hobby website, and that's why I couldn't find them like a week ago when I was looking for an AR636 to buy for the Focke Wulf and for another plane that I have sitting right over there that I'm also going to be doing a build and flight review on. Yeah, the AR636 is officially discontinued and no longer available. And the Fokkers are not even going to have an AR637 available until at least late April. So we just got to wait. Jeff, you should send that to me. I will give you money. And Josh, that is kind of where I am. Yes, and that is also true, Wild Bill. Today is also the last day. So if you guys remember back to the big contest that we had for the 500 subscriber giveaway, which, by the way, we're almost up to 600 subscribers. So thank you to everybody. The Arrows RC 1 year celebration is ending, I believe, tonight or tomorrow. So for $160, you can still get the Arrows RC Warbird of your choice, which is an awesome, awesome deal. Those things are fantastic. They're probably a lot, a lot better than other Warbirds. Can we reprogram what, Troy? The AR637 TA or the AR636? The AR636 can certainly be reprogrammed. Absolutely. And if you watch my AR636 programming series, which is, it's ridiculous. It's like 24 videos or 23 or something like that. But it walks you step by step how to program the AR636 to include the AR636A and AR636B as long as you are able to register them. If you can't register them, there's nothing you can do with it. But that's only a handful of the earlier bind and fly models that came with AR636s that were completely locked down. So if you go to my main channel and then look at playlists and look for the AR636 programming series in my playlists, you will find the full playlist of videos that George Watts, that would be awesome, man. That would be awesome. And anybody that that has an AR636 that they don't want or that they don't like, that wants to donate them to the channel, man, I would love you a long time. Because I love those little receivers. I know that they come in a lot of bind and fly models and people crash them and they hate them or whatever. If you don't like it, man, and it's just going to sit in a drawer and collect dust forever, sure, man. If you want to send it to me, please do, and I will get it in an airplane. I've still got a couple of airplanes. My Bigfoot needs an AR636. My F-18 needs an AR636. Both of these Dynam planes need an AR636. Dude, Dave, I would expect nothing less, my man. You've got a Spectrum 9-channel gyro receiver? Is it a 9350? Dude, I would love to have these nuts for the channel. I'll put them up like back here. I'll put them somewhere. We will put these nuts on display for everybody to see all the time. So Jeff Toohey, they are going to have an AR-636 and an equivalent to it. They're going to have the AR-637T. The AR-637T is actually the receiver that comes in the new Mustang, and I don't want to get too crazy. Well, listen, guys, you know, if people have these things and they want to, you know, to donate them to the channel, or they want to sell them or whatever, let me know, man, because I'd be interested in AR-636s and, you know, the 7 and 9 channel versions. Now, yes, so there are some very early versions of the AR-636A that cannot be reprogrammed. As far as I know, all of the AR-636B models can be reprogrammed, but the early versions, you know, that came in like the Sukhoi Su-29, cannot be reprogrammed, and there were some like on, I think it was like the Night Valiant, maybe there were other ones that couldn't be reprogrammed as well, but they're you know, from a ways ago. But anyway, if you guys you know, have the Spectrum receivers and you don't want to mess with them, and you want to you know, to donate them to the cause, that'd be awesome. I would certainly appreciate it. And you can shoot me an email, or, you know, shoot me a message on Facebook, and let's make something happen. So I'm gonna put my email address in the chat here. And yeah, I mean, if you guys have some that you don't want, then shoot me an email and let's get together, man, because I will take all of them. So, real quick, I want to say, I want to give a big thank you to everybody that donated last week to the Fokker challenge. That was awesome. So, thank you to Chris and Ryan Ocampo for making another donation today. You know, I know that you guys see it, but if you want to make a monetary donation to the channel, big or small, it doesn't matter. It always helps. There is a link in the description that you guys can check out. Oh, and by the way, if you guys want to buy your own little Fokker, so if you want to buy a little Fokker that you can enjoy on your own, whether that's to bring to Nall and fly with me and Wes during the Little Fokker Showdown, or just to enjoy on your own, they are $60, and there's a link in the description where you can buy a Little Fokker Showdown of the live show. So if you go to the description of the live show right now, so you'd have to close out the live chat, you know, which, by the way, when you close out the live chat, go ahead and give the thing a thumbs up. But you can check out the description. There's going to be a link to the Little Fokker, and there's also a link down there to my PayPal link. You know, so if you guys want to make a contribution to the channel, it's just like a super chat, but PayPal takes a lot less money. So, you know, super chats, YouTube is going to end up taking like 30% of a super chat away from me when I am eligible to start doing those. So, as much as I enjoy, you know, giving super chats and probably receiving super chats, then it kind of is what it is. How many AR-636s do you have, Kenny? I'll tell you what. Let me find out how many people are willing to donate them, and however many I need beyond that, I will let you know, because I do need a few, because I've got a few more airplanes on the way that I need receivers for. So I've got two. I'm going to put the Admirals in these guys. So, you know, now's as good a time as any. If I ever get planes with them, I plan to. Thank you, Gooniac. So, or I will send you the receiver of your choice. So if you want a Lemon RX receiver for $30, I will send you a Lemon RX receiver in trade for your AR-636. Heck yeah, Troy. But listen, I'm just going to say right off the bat that it's 2 receivers per handy, right? I don't do $30 handies. It's 2 receivers per handy. Hey, look, in the description of my videos, it says that this is not suitable for children under the age of 13, and that there may be language and adult situations that are not suitable for children. So if your children are watching this and you don't like what I'm saying, be a good parent, smack them in the behind, and turn off YouTube. Otherwise, shut it. No. So EQ, listen. I actually talked with Tom Cogswell momentarily, or he replied to a response that I put on there. So the intent right now is for the legacy aircraft, right? Which means that anything that came out before the P-51. So the P-51 was the first release that E-Flight did with the new AR-637 TA receiver. The new AR-637 is the replacement for the AR-636. It functions great. I've got one in my Mustang. Trust me, it's every bit as good, if not better, than the AR-636. It's going to be forward programmable, which means you no longer need a computer to program it. You can do everything from your transmitter, so that's fantastic. It is a great receiver. But you know, the what Tom had mentioned today on Facebook was that the legacy birds, so any airplane that is already coming with an AR-636, will continue to ship with either the AR-636A or AR-636B. It is the open stock version of the AR-636 that has been discontinued. The idea is that in the future, there will be a V2 variant of a lot of those airplanes that will start to ship with the AR-637 as well, and that they are going to come up with a way to take the AR-636 program and import it into an AR-637, so all of your gains and stick priority and safe, functionality can transfer from the program that you once used with your AR-636 over to an AR-637 seamlessly. But that functionality is not available quite yet. So, for now, if you need an AR-636 or you need a 6-channel AS3X receiver open stock, you're not going to be able to get one because the AR-636 has been discontinued and the AR-637 which is its replacement, is not going to be available until late April. And just kind of, speculating as to how nasty this coronavirus is affecting things in the supply chains and logistics strategies coming from China. I don't think we're going to see AR-637s until even after their speculated date of arrival. Excuse me. EQ, I'd be glad to try it out. I've never used one of the 9350s, but I would be glad to try it out. Jeff, if you've got an open stock, if anybody. Mike Keller, I did not know that Facebook Messenger allows people to receive, monetary donations for free with no charge. That's awesome, man. You can date 17. 17. 17. What a great age. Man, I need to be 17 again. Sometimes. Yeah, Dave, man, listen. There's a lot of idiots out there, and that's why I drink American beer. I guess I'll turn it around since we've already well established that this particular episode of the of Air Marshal Mondays is not for children. I'm drinking Yang Lang traditional lagra, and it is good and delicious, and it has all of the nutritional value of a great meal. I mean, it's got barley and hops, it's got calories. It will keep me going, man. I love Yang Lang. Yang Lang is good for you. Jeff, it really depends on the parents, man. So Wild Bill, every now and then, Dave, man, why you gotta down my my beer of choice? Mike. Yes. Pilot Ryan swoops in from the depths of Lurkerville to bust out with a funny comment. So I don't know when this started. I know that Yingling's been around forever, and I just like it, man. I don't dislike microbrews, but I enjoy Yingling. I really like the Yingling Black and Tan. So I'm going to turn that back around so it looks like a more kid-friendly beverage. Yeah, it says they've been making Yingling since 1829. Damn. So this brewery, in that's 191 years old. Damn. That's pretty awesome. Look at this. Man, look. Y'all are asking me to do things like in the middle of the show. Hold on. I got to like copy and paste email addresses and crap. And your full, well, it doesn't matter what your full name is. It's ATL Falcons. It is supposed to be the oldest brewery in the United States. And I really enjoy Yingling. Excuse me. And at once upon a time, Yingling was brewed in Pennsylvania, and it was a microbrewery. Dang, Wayne Lee. Fred Barron, thank you for coming by, my man. And thank you for always being so supportive of the show. We really appreciate it. Where did that go? What's up, Rich? Bud Ice. Dave's RC, man, taking it back. Bud Ice was like spring break. You know, that was spring break central back in the day. That and like Ice House. Do they still sell that PP water? Yeah, Bud Ice and Ass House. Look, man, when I was a reckless teenager back in the '90s, in my Gen X heydays of '90s alternative and listening to grunge as loud as humanly possible and blowing out eardrums, um, that that was the stuff, man. We were drinking like Molson Ice, Bud Ice, Ice House, anything that was ice, anything with ice in the name. Um, we were just having a good time, and we would go down to spring break, and we would either go to Daytona Beach or we'd go down to Panama City because that's where you went for spring break, and just get annihilated. Uh, we would get stupid drunk, like projectile vomiting at like upward trajectories and trying to see who could win, like projectile vomit distance competitions and funneling beers and doing all the crazy stupid crap that you saw in like that movie Old School with Frank the Tank. That was me. I was that terrible guy, man. Yeah, Paul, it is not German. Yingling is American. It is American beer, but it's great. I really enjoy Yingling, and anyone who doesn't can suck it. Ooh, George Watts. That's another favorite of mine. Is Killian's Irish Red. I've always been a fan of like the Irish Red brews. I like those better than like IPAs and all that crap. In fact, um, I do a little bit of home brewing, and when I do my home brewing, that's what I am usually making is an Irish red beer, Irish red ales, and they're fantastic. I love them. Okay, guys. So enough talk about beers. I'm a big fan of the Yingling Black and Tan, Paul. I love it. Yeah, Dave, for real. Keg stands, all the stuff. Man, I was a crazy, I was a crazy partier. Well, Bill, that I don't know that people would want to see my beer making process on an RC channel. But look, if you guys want to see how I make beer, I'll put that on the channel. Screw it. We'll have an RC Air Marshal Brewing live stream. But I have to get to 1,000 subscribers first because I can't do it with a webcam, right? I need to be mobile when I'm doing my brewing. So I have to do that from the phone. Anyway, as long as it's in the house, I guess we could pull it off. All right, guys. So we're going to talk about this this German thing behind me, right? Because I've always said, like, I'll never buy a German plane. So number one, I want to thank Bobby Committa and Big Go Hobby for providing this plane for review. That was awesome of them. And thank you guys at Big Go Hobby, if you ever see this, for supporting the channel. I really appreciate it. And now that you see me drinking beer, you probably don't want to ever send me another one, but you know, that's another story. So listen, I haven't gotten a chance to fly this plane yet, the FW190. What I will say about it is so I don't want to say that I'm disappointed because I expected there to be some challenges with the build. Just based on what I've heard, so number one, I've never had a German airplane, and I've never had a Dynam. Oh, Josh, that's a great idea. I should bring a couple of cases of homebrew beer to Joe Nall. We'll do it, man. I'm gonna do it, but I have to start brewing it now because it takes like I think it's 3 weeks and a month. I think it's like 2 months. I need like a good 2 months. So I need to start brewing it like this weekend, man, to have it ready for Nall. I'm going to do it. Sorry. So this plane was particularly a pain in the ass. A pain in the ass, y'all. But I'm going to tell you guys about it live. It's going to be in the build video. I'm in the process of editing the build video now, so I'll get back to that when the show is over. So you'll see it in the build video, but I want to go ahead and talk about it in the live show because you guys, you guys are supporting it. So, you guys are here all the time. So I want you guys to hear it first, So this is the exclusive inside track on what a pain in the ass this bird was. And I don't want to sound like I'm bad-mouthing Dynam or I'm bad-mouthing, Big Go Hobby. Big Go Hobby, not at all. Big Go Hobby has been fantastic. They've been very supportive. I've let them know about all of the issues that I've been having, and they've been willing to send me parts, and I was like, no, let me try to fix it, and let me move on. So, with the Dynam, let me kind of grab this thing and get it over here, and I'll just back up a little bit so we can talk about this guy. So the first thing I want to mention is that in its completed form, this is actually a pretty sharp model. Now, I had quite a few issues with this thing, and from looking at it, I don't think that you guys would ever be able to tell. The first issue that I had was that on the front of the box, so number one, I don't know why I expected it, but I guess I was expecting this thing to come shipped and packaged like every other, airplane that I have purchased, which, admittedly, all of the other airplanes that I've bought have been either, Aeros RC or Motion RC or Horizon Hobby airplanes, and they've all come shipped in like these nice foam, shipping boxes, and everything's been real nice and protected. The Dynams aren't like that, man. The Dynams, inside the box, all your foam pieces are inside other smaller cardboard boxes. And, you know, with this particular plane, the prop adapter, you know, was sticking out of the front of the box. When I got it, there was a big hole in the side of the box, and I was like, oh shit, you know, there's a big, you know, hole in the side of the box. What the heck is going on there? So I opened up the box and saw that the prop adapter was, you know, sticking out of the hole in the box. Like, well, that's not a good sign. So, you know, apparently they don't want to invest the money in injection molding like shipping containers, and I get it. This is a budget model, and that's fine. Like I said in the beginning of this, you know, full disclosure, BitGo has been awesome. So this is not like a slam on BitGo. It's not a slam even on Dynam. What this is a slam on is the person who put this together had no idea what they were doing, because I know not all Dynam models could be this bad. All right. And let's go ahead and get along with all of the different issues that I saw. So number one, I added a couple of tabs here on the front and back of the battery bay. I'm going to go ahead and pull, you know, the battery cover off here real quick. And where the magnets are, so you see like it's got like 4 magnets or 4 metal, you know, plates on the bottom of the battery cover and 4 magnets inside here. So one of the first issues that I saw outside of, you know, the prop adapter sticking out of the front of the box was that, you know, 3 out of the 4 you know, magnets inside had come unglued, and they were still stuck to, you know, to the top of the battery bay. They are no longer stuck to the battery bay. I've glued them back in. I used some foam safe CA. You know, these guys are stuck in there pretty good now, and you know, and the battery cover works great. Which, by the way, because there were no AR636s, I've got an Admiral RX600 SP Stability Plus receiver in there. I've never used one of those before. We'll see how that works. So let's go ahead and stick the battery cover back on. So that was the first issue I found, was that the 3 magnets were kind of hanging out. Now, the other thing that you'll see is, you know, there's kind of a split down the plane. Most of the models that I've purchased from, say, E-Flight, you know, E-Flight or Aeros RC, Motion RC, you know, when they glue the 2 halves of the model together, they glue them together and then they fill that seam, sand it, and then paint, right? What it looks like they did at Dynam was they painted the 2 halves. Yeah, Reckham, this is 1270 millimeter. So almost 1300. It looks like they painted the 2 halves of the model and then glued them together and just left all the glue and all the stringiness and everything else for the customer to take off. Like, thanks a lot, dicks. Like, that's what I want to deal with. All right. So that was the second thing I noticed, was that, and then I noticed, you know, the split in the foam. I mean, there's some pretty big canyons in there. I mean, you can like stick a screwdriver in there. All right. The third big problem I noticed, and this one is where we started getting into some pretty involved repair work on my part, right? And I'm showing you guys the bottom of the plane because I want you guys to understand what I had to go through for this. And I want you to take special, you know, notice of the color of the bottom of these. Now, these came like a gray color. So on, I believe it was this wing, So you've got all of your wires that come from the LED, you know, that run through the wing, and there's like these foam blocks. All right, and then where the wings come out of the inside, there's that's where your spar cavity is, right? So where this glues on, it's just like a block of foam, and it's got like a U cutout and like a square cutout. The square cutout is a channel for all your wires to run through to go to the center of the wing, and the circular cutout is your spar cavity, right? Well, whenever they glued it in, all the wires were running into the spar cavity. So I had to take that entire piece of foam and pry it out of there, pull it out, break all the glue, and pull that out so I could run the wires down the square wire cavity. All right, and that was a bitch. And then I had to glue it all back down. I put like packing tape on it, and that pulled all of the paint off of the bottom of the wing, you know, using like the duck, or not the duck, like the frog tape, the low tack frog tape. Yeah, so obviously you don't want your you know, your servo wires and stuff running through your spar tube. And, you know, if I had tried to jam the spar in there, it would have just jacked up everything. So, yeah, dude, Reckham, that's exactly what I was saying. Like, this thing was built on a Friday afternoon, but I don't think that Chinese workers get days off. So, you know, it must have been like a lunch break, or lunch break, or whatever they call it over there. But anyway, so it peeled all the paint off. So I had to do that. The next problem that I found, so I glued that back down, and that was a bitch. The next problem that I found was this piece. There's a small metal piece right here that your tail wheel assembly goes into. Now, the tail wheel assembly moves just fine now, but what I will tell you is that tail piece, there's a grub screw that's supposed to go in there. I couldn't get the grub screw in because the threads were not tapped for that hole that the grub screw goes in. So I had to retap the the M3 threads for the grub screw to be able to go in there. And then I tried to put the tail wheel in. The tail wheel wouldn't even go into the hole all the way. It would only go in about a 1/4 inch. So I had to drill out the rest of the hole. And then, you know, I found out that the thing wouldn't even move, you know, so it wouldn't move with the rudder at all. It was seized up. I had to disconnect the control rod going back to this area, you know, and the frickin' thing would not work. And I was like, are you freaking kidding me? I mean, it was seized up. It would not move back and forth at all. So here's where things got crazy. You know, this part of the bottom of the airplane, and this is where I think you guys are going to be, you know, at least halfway kind of impressed. You know, so the bottom of the airplane, damn it, it's hard to orient this thing right. From like right there down, so from here to here, or you know, anyway, from like basically where you see the control rod to here, that's all part of the fuselage, and everything up is part of the vertical stabilizer. So on that part of the airplane, I had to split that foam apart, you know, because I was telling you the glue joints are crappy anyway. So I had to take like an X-Acto knife up to about right here and take that whole part and like flay it open so I could get this tail wheel assembly out, and then I like had to get the thing was covered in glue. You know, that was the problem. That's why it wouldn't move. It was covered in glue. I had to get all the glue off and then glue it back in without getting glue all over the place. Glue the whole assembly back together. you know, and like basically close it all back up. Had tape wrapped all the way around the bottom of this thing, which of course peeled all the paint off as I removed the tape. And all of this is going to be in the video. And if you guys remember, you know, on Facebook, I think it was either Saturday night or yesterday. It may have been Saturday night because I think I got the build done yesterday. You know, you had seen me where I, you know, had busted out my airbrush kit. I had to go and mix up. I mean, because nobody makes this color blue. Nobody. So I had to repaint this whole section of foam. And I also repainted, you know, I went ahead and painted the retracts. I painted the retractable landing gear doors because those were like a gray color and now they match the rest of the airframe. I painted the servos, and now that I've got like the axis cross over the servos, I feel like a chump for doing that because I didn't need to paint those at all. Let's see. And that whole area back there, like basically from here up to, you know, there used to be another like little camouflage spot like right here. I had to repaint all of that and kind of blend it in with the airbrush. So this thing, you know, to say the least, has been a bit of a headache, man. So I'm excited to have it, you know, where it's in a flight-worthy state now. And I'm really looking forward to seeing how it flies. Now, that's not all the problems. The last problem that I have, thanks, Reckham. And yeah, I mean, if you guys could see everything that I had to do to get it to look like this, you'd be much more impressed than me just showing it to you, because the final product, you know, looks like it came, you know, from the factory this way. But like basically, you know, this here is factory paint. That is my, you know, custom paint. You know, so all of that basically from here back was all white because it pulled all the paint off. I basically just wrapped frog tape around it to hold the glue joint together to keep it from separating after I glued the tailwheel assembly back in, you know, to get it where it wasn't seized up anymore. And that wasn't all the issues. The last issue that I had, the prop adapter on the front, when I you know, got the prop on there, when I started up the motor for the first time, the prop, I mean, the whole plane was just vibrating. And I was like, Jesus, man, now this ring is, you know, a piece of crap. So, the prop adapter I thought was warped. And then I, you know, started removing the screws from the prop adapter, only to find out that there were only 3 screws holding it down, and the 4th one was just kind of sitting inside the prop adapter. It wasn't even bolted in. You know, so the prop adapter was just kind of wobbling around on the front of the motor. Like, good God, man. So I, you know, took the prop adapter off, made sure that the prop adapter was nice and true, made sure that the motor was spinning true, and then I put everything back together, and now the prop adapter is straight, and I believe that the plane is airworthy now. It feels good. Everything is moving. The tailwheel assembly is freed up. You know, the wires are all running in the right locations. There is one last problem, and this one is just silly to me, and there's no way that I am taking the time or the effort to fix it. The green and red navigation lights are on the wrong wings. So the left wing has a green light, the right wing has a red light. I am not taking the wings apart to swap those, even though I have like a 2-ounce bottle full of that blue color paint. I'm not doing all that work, man. What a pain in the butt. George Watts, yes. Yeah, yeah. I was surprised, and like I said, I don't think that all Dynam airplanes have this many issues. I think that there was one worker, some probably poor Chinese lady who hadn't eaten in like 15 hours and hasn't seen her kids, in ages, was mad as hell, and all she wanted to do was, go eat. She just wanted some fried rice, man, and she just slopped this plane together, because I know that there are other Dynam planes that are nowhere near this much of a pain to get flying, and that's what I was kind of hoping for, and that's what I've heard, Guniak, is that the Dynam planes, they require a little bit of love, so like I said, I mean, they don't have the best packaging. They don't have the molded, foam packaging materials. I get that, man. This company is out to get you a good bird at a great price. I mean, at a great price. So they cut corners, and those are the kind of corners they're cutting. They paint before, they mold. They don't fill in the cracks. They don't ship things in a molded styrofoam container. There's a lot of things that they're doing that they're saving quite a bit of money on, so they can sell a bird that would have to sell for quite a bit more money, if they took those steps, and they kind of leave it to the end customer to make it that nice. And they don't put the decals on the plane, so there's a lot of work that the end customer has to do, if you want it to look the way that it was probably supposed to out of the factory. I could fill in all those cracks. I could fix all of the problems that I found with it and turn it into an airplane that would be worthy of a $250 to $300 price tag, very easily. But I'm not going to put that much work into it. It took enough work just to get the thing airworthy at all. And now I totally get why they're called modeling planes. And to be honest with you, I enjoyed it, because I knew what I was getting into when I got a Dynam airplane. I just didn't know to what extent was I going to have to work, to get the plane where I wanted it. And now I know the answer. But, the experience was not one that I didn't enjoy. In fact, every time I found something, that was a little off, sorry, the dogs are barking at something. Every time, he probably did, Jeff. Every time I found another problem, I just kind of laughed and was like, all right, like, here's the next thing I gotta fix. So like the wing channel, having to pry out that piece of foam and get that block of foam out of there, get the wires routed, glue it back in. That was one challenge, and then having to like flay the aft end of the fuselage apart to get that plastic piece out. Oh, and did I mention, the control rod? There's a tube that runs through the fuselage, that the control rod for the rear, for the rear steering wheel, or for the tail wheel, control rod, the tube had glue in it, which was also jamming up the control rod. So not only would the thing just not turn at all, but the control rod was jammed up with glue. So, either way, I had to get at least the control rod out, which you're not doing without pulling out that tail wheel assembly. It was a it was fun, it was challenging, and mixing up that color blue was a challenge, because it's not just light blue. There's a little bit of gray in there also. I mean, that was, it was a lot of fun, man. I really enjoyed putting the model together. I really enjoyed the challenge of fixing all the things that were wrong with it, and I think at the end of the day, I'm gonna enjoy this airplane a lot more, knowing how much effort and work I had to put into it to get it to this point, and everything that I have heard about them would suggest that they fly awesome when you put the effort in. So I'm really looking forward to that. And you know, I've got 4S 2200 batteries. But I went ahead and bought some 4S 3200 batteries because also I understand that they don't fly well at all if all you're using is 2200 batteries. That the 2200 batteries do not give it enough nose weight, and you're going to want to put more weight in the nose. So I ordered up some 3200 4S smart batteries that I'm going to be using in this model. And that's what we're going with, because I'm afraid of running it with the 2200s. I don't want it to be tail heavy. Awesome, EQ. Did you have to go up to 5? Did you try a 4S, Ray, or did you have to go to 5S 2200? So a 4S 3200 is probably the same weight as the 5S 2200. But I assume that you probably got some pretty ripping performance out of that 5S, didn't you? Yeah, Josh. It is like a plane that was wrecked and put back together and repainted and refinished and made to look new again. So I'm pretty happy with the end result. You know, as you guys can see, you know, from the areas that I had to repair, I mean, I can't even tell where the old paint, you know, where the factory paint ends and my paint begins. You can't see that separation. You know, it's nice. I took some effort and did some nice work there. You know, with blending the paint and making everything, you know, just right. Because I mean, at the end of the day, I'm still going to be filming the maiden flight, and I didn't want it to look like a hack job. You know, because I still want to do right by Bitco, and make sure that the video that I have that's representing the planes that they're selling is still high quality. You know what I'm saying? So I mean, that was something else that you know, I felt like it was the right thing to do. Mike Keller, whatever they said would be the estimated assembly time was a lie. They did say that, what does it say? It says experience level 3. Now, they only have 3 little dash marks in the experience level. So, to their credit, they said that I would need the maximum level of experience to assemble this model on their scale of 1 to 3. I don't think that their scale goes high enough to really measure how much experience it would take for someone to put this particular model together. This one FW190 was, you know, it took a lot of more than just flying experience and building experience. Like if I did not know how to do foam repair and modeling and paint mixology and color matching and correcting and all of that shit, I mean, this thing would look like ass crack right now. I may have been able to get it back up in the air, but it would look like ass crack. Jeff's Custom RC, thank you, sir. Thank you for showing up as always. And guys, I'm not even trying to toot my own horn. I didn't know how well it was going to turn out. I've never had to mix. I mean, I've mixed custom colors before, but this one, you know, like that was, it took several attempts at getting it right and adding just a little, like one more little drop of blue, one more little drop of black. Okay, now I gotta add a little more white. Now I gotta add a little more blue. And it took a long time to get the paint color just right, you know, for it to turn out the way it did. And I'm super proud of how it turned out. So, I mean, it is what it is. Mike, man, yeah, no problem. Hit me up on Facebook. Or, you know, if you leave a comment on any of the videos, I usually answer all the comments. And let me, one more time, I'm going to put my email address in the chat. So, all you folks that mentioned that you have AR636 receivers that you don't want anymore and want to donate them, send them on. Shoot me an email to my email address that I just left in the chat there, and we will, you know, we'll talk a little bit, and I can send you my address. And if you want to send me some AR636s, man, please do. I'd really appreciate it, because I love those little things. I know they're not for everybody. So, you know, George, I had thought about doing that, but at the Home Depot and Lowe's here, their base paints, they don't have samples that are a pure acrylic. They only have latex-based samples. So I didn't want latex. I wanted acrylic. So I mixed custom acrylic colors using like Liquitex paints. Man, if it doesn't work anymore, I don't want that, Randy. Thanks, Josh. Yeah, I got an early morning myself. I'm not sure where we are as far as time goes. So it looks like it's getting pretty close to quitting time anyway. But you know, we'll keep it going for you for a little more, a little bit more. And it looks like I'm getting back to that, you know, time frame when we're gonna start having like weird buffering issues and all kinds of other weird stuff going on where the video is gonna start to lag. And I don't know what's going on with that. It always starts happening like right around 10 o'clock. So I gotta call my cable company and see if they're cutting off my my internet at 10 o'clock or something. Jerks. Yeah, that's what I was saying, Dennis. But it looks like it's coming in and out. So I'm not sure what the problem is. Like I can see what the bit rate is on the stream, and it's fine, and then it dumps. Yeah, Wild Bill, and I don't know why they would do that because I pay for a pretty high tier of internet service with unlimited usage and all kinds of other stuff, and I'll have to call Xfinity and yell at them. Maybe they are, Danny. Maybe maybe it's because my wife, she knows that I do this and she's pretty funny, so she'll go and start downloading like all kinds of stuff. But this is upload bandwidth, not download bandwidth. So it's kind of a different animal. Apparently I have, Wild Bill. I've used all of my share for the evening. I get 2 hours of upload streaming ability a week. Yeah, Wild Bill, Comcast, Xfinity. But I've got, what is it? An Xfinity X5 plan, with unlimited whatever, gigabit speed. I mean, I've got like a ridiculous plan with them. So I can do this kind of thing. And it's not working out so well. In fact, my download speeds are not sitting at a gigabit right now. They are way less. So I need to call them up and find out what the hell. And every week, it's always at the same time. So, I know that for the folks that have been here over the past like 2 or 3 weeks, it's always right around now. Like the stream will go great, and then right at 10 o'clock, they'll start throttling my crap. And I'm like, hey, what the hell, man? Jerks. All right. Well, with all that said, I am going to go ahead and start to wrap things up for the night. If we have any last minute questions or anything that you guys would like to see, go ahead and start rolling those into the chat, and let's get those knocked out and out of the way. Well, the download speed is one thing, but when I am streaming, I'm actually using my upload speed, which I only have like 20 megabits of upload speed, but I'm not using anywhere near 20 megabits to host this stream. I'm only using 5. Pearl Jam, no, it is Comcast Xfinity. And I usually have good upload speeds, Troy. I usually have, in fact, just for craps and giggles, let's see what those upload speeds are looking like today. All right. Here we go. I'm testing it. All right, let's see if we got any servers that are closer. Boop, 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 boop. Marietta. All right, we're going. We're testing this crap out. so everybody gets to see just how crappy. Reckham, yes, I did. Yeah, so that download speed is atrocious, man. I'm paying for a gigabyte, and I am direct wired. So there is definitely something up. I should be getting more like 900 megabits per second download speed, and the upload should be around 20. Now, granted, I am doing a live stream right now, so it's sitting around 9 is fine. But still, that is trash. Trash. Yeah, I should be sitting, closer to about 900 megabits upload and 20, or 900 download and 20 upload, but apparently Comcast is not doing what I am paying for. Those mother truckers. Wow. So anyway, yeah, there's no peak times. I pay for 24-hour internets. So anyway, it looks like there's some major lag. So I'm going to go ahead and cut this off. But, everybody, thank you guys all for coming out. Thanks again. If you want to contribute to the channel, as always, please visit my PayPal link, which is down in the description. It's https://paypal.me/DavidMarshall3, which is also in the ticker down along the bottom. And sorry. And if you want to leave a PayPal donation, that's where you do it. So check the description. I've got a link down there. There is also a link in the description for the FlyZone Fokker D7 micro Fokker RTF model. If you want to join us at Joe Nall for the little Fokker Showdown, check the link in the description. You can see where to get one of these bad boys. They are $60 ready to fly. Everything that you need, and I mean absolutely everything that you need to get up in the air, is included in the box. The transmitter, the batteries, everything. Everything is in the box. The Focke Wulf 190 Dynam. There's a link down in the description. If you want to, to accept the challenge of Dynam, then, visit the description down below. Big O Hobby is amazing to work with, so don't be afraid of, perhaps ending up getting a plane that's a little bit of a challenge. They will certainly help you out and get you the parts that you need to make it right. And that's all I got. Make sure that you guys hit the like button. I appreciate you guys coming out every week. Thank you for coming this week. Be sure, if you're not subscribed to the channel, to hit the subscribe button and ring that bell. And we will see you guys again next Monday. I do have some videos coming up this week, so look forward to the Dynam FW190 build video, as well as we're finally going to be getting the maiden flight for the turbo timber, and the maiden flight for the Nano S2 helicopter. We're going to be getting those up and on the channel soon. So we've been a little dormant lately with new uploads. It's just been the live streams these last few weeks. We're going to start getting those videos rolling again. But anyway, thank you guys, the RC Air Marshal faithful, for tuning in. I appreciate you guys as always. Thank you for coming. We will see you guys next week. You guys are fantastic, and everybody have a great night. We will see you all later.